Many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem.
The referees literally turned their back.
Caitlin Clark appears to be hunted.
I'm sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
Off the bounce.
Have you ever been sold the promise of a revolution, only to find out the system in charge of delivering it might actually be the thing holding it back? That's the strange, almost surreal reality that's unfolded with Caitlin Clark, the player who is supposed to breathe life into the WNBA.
Watch when Caitlin Clark is trying to create some space. It looked like she just got hit in the eye there.
Ooh, and Marina Mabry. I missed that one, Idona.
Oh, I missed that one too.
Transform it from niche to must-see and redefine women's basketball for a whole new audience. The hype machine promised highlights, ratings, ticket sellouts, and a future built around this once-in-a-generation talent. What nobody told us was that the league itself might be her biggest obstacle, not the opponent she faces, not the pressure of expectation.
Caitlin Clark is being roughed up, but the physical wear and tear on Caitlin Clark, I'm not surprised that 2 weeks into the season, she's already got an injury.
But the very institution that should be protecting and elevating her. And if you've been watching closely, you already know this isn't just bad luck or rookie growing pains. This is a pattern. This is something bigger. From the moment she stepped on the court, Caitlin Clark has been hit with a level of physicality.
Every single game, WNBA players, fans, coaches are all complaining about the referees, and they have shown that they're not going to change anything because the referees continue to be
that feels like it belongs in a completely different sport. She's been shoved to the floor, grabbed off the ball, full court pressed, hacked mid-drive, and game after game, the referees stand by and let it happen. If you're expecting the usual early career rough treatment that any high-profile rookie might get, think again. This isn't just opponents testing her toughness.
Taking a shot following the pass to Boston. Clark in pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around it from Carrington with no whistle.
This looks like the green light has been given for open season basketball, with the league's brightest star as the target. We're not talking about the occasional missed whistle here. This is night after night. Obvious fouls going uncalled, Clark hitting the deck while the refs' heads are—
Hey, excuse me, for those of us like I don't see you on a night-to-night basis, what is your description of kind of the physical battle that Caitlin particularly faces, maybe within tonight's game or just in general as you've gotten used to coaching her, just what you see she's enduring physically?
Are you trying to get me fined again?
I am not.
Yeah, I mean, there's a level of physicality that they're able to play with against her. You know, I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach. And you know, I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is what it is. And we've got to help her.
Turned, literally, in some cases, turned the other way as she pleads for a call. And now we've hit the point where the nothing to see here narrative collapses. Caitlin Clark is sidelined with a quad injury, out for at least 2 weeks, and fans are rightfully looking back at every game, every ignored foul, every body check that went unchecked, and wondering if this was—
Here's Clark. For 29 points, gets tripped up. I want to welcome in our Ion audience who are watching Minnesota and—
wasn't inevitable. And here's where the expectations versus reality divide becomes impossible to ignore. The expectation was that the WNBA, seeing a talent and market draw like Clark, would roll out the red carpet. She was going to be the face of the league, the one selling jerseys, spiking viewership, bringing in sponsorships. The reality? That red carpet's been replaced.
Like, you have seen players in our league try to like toughen up Caitlin. We call her Cece. Cece. Even when I wasn't on her team, like I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And like, I get it to a certain extent. And like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and like now being on her team and like seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? Like, actually, it's just too much. Too much.
With a minefield, and the people meant to be keeping it safe are letting the mines go off. In fact, they might even be setting them. Let's start with the second biggest point, because the biggest one will make even less sense without it. The referees, the ones with the power to control the flow and fairness of games, aren't exactly the battle-tested, elite-level officials you'd expect in a professional league. Some of them have jumped straight from high school officiating to the WNBA, bypassing the years of experience that usually prepare a ref.
Dallas, Indiana, Fever in the Chicago Sky here from Wintrust Arena. The Fever have really stretched out this one in the second half as we look at Diamond DeShields and Caitlin Clark.
For this level. And they're not even calling games entirely on their own judgment. Behind the scenes, a committee of coaches, GMs, and stakeholders, all people with skin in the game, is telling refs exactly how physical they want games to be and which styles of play to prioritize. In other words, these calls aren't just inconsistent, they're influenced. And when influence trumps impartiality, you get chaos. Now imagine dropping Caitlin Clark, a player who thrives on pace, skill, and fluid offense, into a system that's quietly designed to favor a more physical, grinded-out style.
Every game. She deals with physicality that no other player in the league is dealing with. The WNBA not stepping in to protect their cash cow, their only draw, their only star, and this.
She doesn't fit the preset mold, so instead of adjusting the game to her, they let the game grind her down. Every drive to the basket is an invitation for hard contact. Every cut off the ball, a chance to get bumped or grabbed. For any other star, those hits trigger a whistle. For Clark, they're just play on. This isn't speculation. We've seen it. We've seen her and teammates approach officials for an explanation and get stonewalled. We've seen blatant fouls, the kind replay makes undeniable, waved off like they never happened. We've seen her coach.
The Heat. If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear.
Stephanie White, try to challenge a key call, only to be blocked by an obscure rule about needing a full timeout. And we've seen that lack of accountability ripple through entire games. When Clark went down with her injury, a lot of fans didn't react with shock. They reacted with grim recognition. This is what happens when you ignore the accumulation of hits. This is what happens when you tell a player to adjust instead of enforcing the same standard for everyone. And it's not just Indiana Fever fans saying it. Across the league, players and coaches have been speaking up. Brittany Griner.
And Diamond with 3 fouls against Caitlin. And they're going to go and look at this one.
Mabry doubled off to Carter, her jumper.
Griner interrupted a live halftime interview to call out the refs. Other coaches have used words like disrespectful to describe the officiating. The league's response? Mostly silence, with a sprinkle of new fans just don't understand the WNBA's physical style. But that's a dodge. The problem isn't that the league is physical, it's that it's inconsistently physical. If it's rough for everyone, fine, players can adapt. But when the whistle blows for one player and swallows itself for another, that's not toughness, that's biased. Here's where the biggest point hits. This isn't just bad officiating, it's a structural problem. The WNBA's officiating system is built on a feedback loop that serves stakeholders first. Referees report to a competition committee that decides what kind of basketball the league wants, which often means preserving a certain image or narrative. And when you have a breakout star like Clark, who's pulling unprecedented attention and revenue, you'd think that narrative would be protect her. But in reality, her style disrupts the established order. She forces pace, she draws eyes, and she creates a spotlight that reveals all the cracks in the system. And instead of fixing those cracks, the system seems intent on dimming that spotlight. The fallout is already here. The WNBA had a golden goose, one who appeared in 185 straight games from college through her rookie pro season, never missing a contest until now, and they've managed to sideline her barely weeks into the year. That's not just a setback for the Fever. That's a direct hit to the league's momentum, its marketing, and its credibility. And if you think fans aren't noticing, think again. They're not just upset, they're mobilizing. They're calling out missed calls in real time, flooding comment sections, pushing hashtags, and sharing slow-mo clips that make the bias impossible to deny. And here's the dangerous reality for the league. Once you lose trust in the fairness of the game, everything else becomes noise. It doesn't matter how many stars you promote.
Is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And Clark.
Promote how many sponsorships you sign, or how many feel-good commercials you air. If fans believe the product on the floor is tilted, they'll tune out and they might not come back. Caitlin Clark never asked for special treatment. She asked, implicitly, for what every player deserves, a level playing field. Instead, she's been given a crash course in how politics, influence, and old guard thinking can outweigh common sense in professional sports. The result is a player who should be lighting up the court and the scoreboard, instead sitting on the bench, recovering from an injury that feels less like bad luck and more like the logical conclusion of a season's worth of neglect. If the WNBA doesn't want this to spiral into lawsuits, sponsorship withdrawals, or an exodus of the very new fans Clark brought in, it has to act. That means overhauling how officials are trained, who they answer to, and how accountability is enforced. It means admitting there's a problem instead of brushing it off as outsiders not getting it. And it means deciding whether the league's future is about preserving the comfort of a few or protecting the players who can actually grow the game. Because if there's one thing this whole saga has made clear, it's that fans aren't just watching anymore, they're keeping score. They've seen the missed whistles, the turnbacks, the moments when the rulebook seems to vanish. They've seen the league's most marketable player get knocked down and told to just get up again. And now they're asking the only question that matters. Will the WNBA protect its stars before it's too late? Or will it watch them disappear, one injury at a time? For Caitlin Clark, the answer might come too late to change the season. But for the league, the clock is ticking. If you believe in protecting the players who make this sport worth watching, speak up, stay engaged, and keep the pressure on, because the future of the game might just depend on it.